but he's not in the room. But he went to do something for.
That doesn't matter. If his physical essence is not in this room, among
Get in here quick.
If we keep asking questions till he gets back, will that work?
no, we have to draw again. Sorry. Who was it that time?
Riley.
Was it Riley? That's great.
Oh, that's awesome. That's pretty funny. Okay, I will be back in a minute to introduce the head table.
That's just the first of the presentation.
Yeah.
Why not?
Oh, was Terry here?
We have an eagle, it's like flag with a bald eagle on it, blanket,
Oh, I want it.
and a water bottle.
Richard Dameron.
APH bag, box of assorted trees, and a black scarf.
Dennis Franklin.
Are we all here yet, Kathy?
One of your prizes, Riley got it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lasagna, it looks like, or some kind of pasta, actually.
Okay.
Spaghetti. Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna take my coat off.
Yeah.
Alright, let me start by introducing or tell you about this head table. If you are facing us, if you're facing up here, the head table would be on your right, my left. We have Todd Stevens, his lovely wife Laura. Then we have our scholarship finalist Terrence Seif. Then we have yours truly. So that's the salad in the chair. That's me. Then we'll start on my other side. If you're looking at the table, would be on your left, my right, and we have Bill Seif. Then we have Jane, his lovely, lovely wife, and my younger self with a more elastic brain. Then there's Kathy Jackson, and then there is our national representative, Amy Burris. Now, something else about 1969. Guess what? That is when the big wheel was made. Remember the big wheel, the big plastic thing that I wanted and my parents never got me because they knew what I would do? So, big wheel. The price, a new toy, the Light Bright. Did you all have them? I wasn't allowed. I had to buy my children a Light Bright because I wasn't allowed to have it. So, but back then, a Light Bright, ready? Cost $5.95. Isn't that cool? I mean, I think I paid like $29.95 when I bought it for my kids about 10 years ago. Also in 1969, the price of gasoline. Anybody have a guess of the price of a gallon of gas in 1969?
25 cents. 10 cents.
What'd you say, Kenny?
No, 25.
35.
All right, Todd was exactly right. It was 35 cents.
And no, I wasn't driving.
So, 35 cents for a gallon of gas. I remember my father, who didn't drive, because I already said my parents were blind, being really angry in about 1971 or 72 when we were riding to St. Louis with my uncle because gas was 50 cents. And he was livid because he gave my uncle $1 for 2 gallons of gas. And he said, I can't believe I have to give you a whole $1 just to go to St. Louis. Yeah, how times have changed. Okay, I will be back up here in a little while.
Y'all remember when I used to smoke when I was really young? And I quit right when cigarettes went up to 90 cents a pack. I said, this is ridiculous. There's no way I want to pay 90 cents a pack for cigarettes.
And now they're a lot higher.
Yeah. What they are probably.
I think it depends on the brand, but
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. It's just that it was the whole theme was technology. Okay. I gotta go check out the thing about
Oh my goodness.
no.
Okay, we're gonna draw 4 more of those tickets real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Todd, you get?
no problem. We'll make sure we take care of you when they move you.
Bev Franklin. Renelle Mackey, I swear. Mike Freeholm.
Well, I'm trying to help because, I'm not really doing much right now.
Vincent Reese. Mary Herod. Cindy Sheets.
That's a good
Killian Main. He's popular.
somewhere by mistake or something.
They're gonna move in.
Oh, okay.
Melanie Pesco.
You haven't seen him.
Sean Williams. Rodney Gross. Kathy Jackson. Nikki Pearl. Karen Crowdis. CROWDLS. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Karen Carter. I thought it was my sister. I'm sorry. It's Karen Carter. Yeah, Jan Gaywith. GAWITH. Charlie Brothers. Tammy Spencer. Beth Franklin. Yeah, you again. Sandra Williams again. David Stokes. Fred Schroeder. Sue Hill. 124. Bill Dembridge. The winner is Ben Dial. So that's Ben, BENDIAL.
I don't think I can do it. Josh, you have to. Were you not wanting to eat at this table?
Well, Nikki said that.
Yes.
Come over there with Scott.
Oh. Hey, Nikki? Oh, is she coming back to, okay. Scott, where are you? Scott Spalding. Where are you? Say it again.
I'm over here.
Oh, here. I'll take you. All right. Okay, Josh wanted to move by you and I didn't know where you were.
At the same table as Bill.
Well, I didn't know where Bill was either, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he wants to move over by Scott.
My phone's over there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Where'd you go, Josh? Oh, there you are. Sorry. Yeah. Go around the front of the table. He said, what? No, he said Illinois. I asked you.
Need 7, 8. I need more than that.
All right, who can tell me what the top song of 1969 was? Some of you were probably out there singing to it. Not right, Scott. Any guesses at all? I've had Turn, Turn, Turn. I've had Age of Aquarius. I've had Let It Be. But it is not, so we will let that be. Sugar, Sugar. Ah, honey, honey, you're wrong. No. Uh-oh. That didn't sound good. Well, nobody screamed and there's no alarm. I guess I'm good. All right. No, the top song of 1969. What'd you say, Todd? No, it was Let the Sunshine In. Y'all remember that? Let the Sunshine In, yeah, by the Fifth Dimension. Same group, Todd, wrong song. Yeah, I remember music was a big part of my growing up, and it was always in my house. Another group was very popular back then. Yeah, I'm sure you all knew who they were, right? There were 4 of them. They had funny accents. Beatles were out there.
The Stones.
Well, they were there too, but that's not what we're talking about. It was the Beatles, yeah. And the name, what was the name of that album they released in 1969? Abbey Road, that's right. Why? Do you know why they named that album Abbey Road? That is right. They named it, Amy said it, they named it for the road out in front of their studio. Do you all know what they wanted to name the album?
No.
They wanted to name, huh?
You got the wrong song for 1960.
Look, your Google and my Google may not be the same.
Like 4 or 5 of my Google say
And what is your top song?
sugar, sugar.
I
told you.
Billboard. Only Billboard counts. That's what we were looking at. Oh, that's #1.
Well, I guess maybe I'm in a different month. I don't know. That, you know what? This just proves everything you read on the internet is not true. Now, who do you want to believe? That's right. Someone who was living in 1969 or someone whose parents probably weren't living in 1969? Oh. Okay, she is my friend, and she helps me out a lot. So, you know, this is all the fun stuff. So I guess you can Google, and whatever your Google says is what it was. All right, maybe after that we should have a door prize. Maybe 2 if you have them.
Neither do we. No one can hear you. I did text her and I did get you.
And we got big forks.
So I need to call her. I still gotta figure out how can hear her all the way down here just giggling
Where
away.
it has to go.
Should never put her on Laura.
Oh, you're being bad.
Oh, okay.
He's not here.
Oh, that's Bob.
Oh, it's definitely not.
Oh, you put that.
Stay high.
I didn't even know if she Oh, so when I go back to the table, I said, I don't know. She goes, well, our boss took back in some money, but I'm going to give it to that. I was like, man, I raised She goes, well, no, because you told me. She goes, there was $20 in there, but I don't see it anywhere. So it's in there. It's in the back of the water bottle. Probably not going to notice that. When you dig it, you can't feel it. It's like,
Ain't nobody saying
yeah.
On that table like that. Put that on that table like that. That is good. It's embarrassing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I never thought that would.
Well, that's good.
I don't think there was any. What? Try it. Let's try it.
more about 1969. I've got something that maybe nobody will heckle me about, but we'll see. In 1969, James Brown, remember him? Yeah, that's the dude. James Brown recorded how many songs about, and do not Google, Stephanie. How many songs James Brown recorded about a food item we eat? Now, what food item do you think he sang about?
Popcorn.
That's right. Popcorn. And how many popcorn songs did James Brown sing?
3.
Five. There were actually 5 songs that James Brown sang about popcorn. Oh yeah, I did say 65, didn't I? I told you to leave the Google alone.
I didn't touch the Google. I'm going to town.
You know, there's always
I'm
one
eating
in
that cheesecake. I don't need the Google.
You know what? There's always one in the audience, and it's always somebody who tells me outside of the convention they're my friend. That's okay, because if we didn't have friends, life wouldn't be fun. And we are one big happy family, right? Speaking of happy families, in 1969, my happy family, like I said, lived in Illinois. And I was going on 5, and I was supposed to start kindergarten at the School for the Blind in Illinois, but I had a little medical issue which caused me not to be able to go that year. So in 1969, I visited a hospital for the very first time. Not very fun. In 1969, in my little family, because we were little at that time, my youngest sister hadn't been thought about. I don't know what they were thinking when she was, but in 1969, she was not there. There were just 2 of us then. But in 1969, that was the year when I was only 4 that I first realized I was blind. Because before that, guess what, guys? I didn't have a clue. I didn't know. I thought everybody was like me, and that all dads took guide dogs to work, and that all moms read bedtime stories in Braille. I didn't know until these horrid children told me I couldn't play with them because I was blind. I called them liars and ran home because, see, I snuck out of the house. See, I wouldn't have known. I could have lived under the assumption that I could see. But I disobeyed, like I usually did, and my mom had a nap with the baby, and I figured out how to unlock the front door, and I got out because I like my freedom, and I was bad. Jane said I was bad. Yes, it was. And these kids were playing with one of those beach balls, and I saw it, and I wanted to play with them, and they told me I couldn't because I was blind, and then my daddy was Mr. Blind Man, and I said my daddy wasn't blind, and they pushed me down, and I fought with them, and then I took my little skinny self home and tried to sneak back in the house, but my mother felt me, and well, that's how she knew she couldn't see me. She felt me pass by, and I got in a little trouble. Well, I was going to get in trouble, but then I started crying, and I asked her, "Well, Mommy, am I blind?" They said I was blind, and she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, what is that?" And she told me, and I didn't think anything really much about it for a lot of years that I was blind. So that was another 1969 thing. I found out I was blind. You know, I bet if I hadn't been blind, I'd still be eating salad right now. You hear Taryn up here laughing? Yeah, I was enjoying that too. But it walked away. So anyway, I'm going to go see if there's anything left or it's just a blank tablecloth. So I'll be back. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
You should have explained that better.
Well, okay, we still have the silent raffle items. I'm not sure where they are, but they're somewhere up here with us. Okay, I'm looking for the silent auction item. Oh, they're right there. Okay, so as you all finish eating, please come and bid on these items. This money is for a good cause, okay?
Nobody taught y'all right. So when Karen was little, she didn't know I would. Do you want to? And so she loses this.
Well, yeah.
She's sitting on the floor. She just has to go.
All right, we're drawing 4 reverse raffle tickets.
We're not playing marble, we're blind.
Kevin Pearl,
She was blind, but I couldn't because I was not.
uh-oh, Nikki Pearl,
No to see today.
Jensen, Maine, Mike Fremont,
However, who knows that means?
Gashel, Jim Gashel. It's G-A-S-H-E-L. Oh, Mullins. Where's the
We're talking about if she wins the $500 gift card. We're not holding out.
Yeah, Karen Crowder, C-R-O-W-S. Sean Williams, do you have something? Michael Coffey. Kathy Jackson. Me again, Kathy Jackson.
I know some people do entering and then leaving. Oh, I've been doing it.
Nikki Pearl. I heard that. Beth Franklin. Kathy Jackson. Jensen Mann. Heather Carnes Dial. Sharon Kramer. Kathy Jackson. Kathy Jackson. This is 145. Chris, G-R-I-S-A-N-T-I, Versanti. It does. Okay, Beth Franklin. Haley Pretty. Granddaughter. Kathy Jackson. Danielle Burton. this is where it is. 150. Dennis Brothers. All right.
That takes you back.
All right, you all, NFBGL split pots at 121, which means we need to sell $80 more. Just saying. You're not scared enough.
Attention! Anyone who would like to buy a raffle ticket for the Technology Assistance Division, we have a triple play. It is an Echo Dot third generation smart speaker with Alexa. It is a Honeywell 7-day programmable home thermostat, and also a Ring video doorbell. And the tickets are 1 ticket for $5 or 3 tickets for $10. Also, Frankfurt has a chance for $100 in cash, $5
Okay, the Amazon Fire tablet is up to $40. The Embassy Suites is still at $120, and the Hilton Garden Inn is $100.
Yeah, that's what she said. 103.
So they're $1 each. Just part of that group. We'll go find
Okay, guys, in 1969, this is another me family fun fact, and and then I'm going to tell you how, when you're in a family, whether it's a biological family or a family like our Federation family, there's always some fun things, right? Always some interesting things. And I know you guys probably heard laughing at the head table. Did y'all hear that laughing?
Yes.
And you probably thought, are they talking about us? Was I smacking too loud? What are they laughing about up there? I know you all were thinking that. I would have thought that if I were back there. But one of our Federation family, I don't know, she could be my baby sister. And I'm sitting next to my baby Federation sister. She's our scholarship person this evening. And I'm sitting next to her and we're talking and I'm telling her something and I think she liked what I told her. We're having a great conversation. And all the while we're having this conversation, because this is, remember in 1969 I found out I'm blind? Well, I am really blind now. Y'all know that, right? Remember when I could halfway see and fake it? Stephanie just won't let me along, will she? But that's okay. Neither will my baby Federation sister. So we're having this conversation and I'm working diligently with my knife and fork. See, because in my real job, when I'm not up here playing with the microphone, I'm a teacher and I teach people how to eat nicely. And so I'm hacking away at this thing. And I've already poured dressing on the thing. And I said, just in general, not to my Federation baby sister, wonder what this uncuttable thing is. And she said, bread. And I said, is there bread on the table? She said, no, it's in your salad. And I said, you didn't tell me? She said, you didn't ask. And I said, well, it's absorbed all the good ranch dressing that I had for my leaves. And she's like, well, there's more. I'm like, yeah, I know, but all those people out in the audience that can't see will think I'm a glutton. And I preached against gluttony yesterday. Remember, I kept saying, don't be a glutton. And if they see me pour ranch dressing again, they're going to think something's wrong with me. And she said, yeah. And I mean, so I get up here to say what I need to say. Now, the salad was good because hasn't the food been good this weekend? Wasn't the soup? These are some great salads, right? So I'm enjoying the salad, and I come up here to say whatever it was I said to you guys, and I went down to my seat and sat down. I picked up my fork and was ready to eat the salad greens and indulge in what little ranch I had left. And it was squishy. And my Federation baby sister said to me, oh, that's spaghetti. I'm like, where'd the salad go? She said, they took it away. I'm like, why'd you let them? I don't know. But it's gone. Yeah, I know it's gone. So I'm like, any bread? She goes, no, it's on the salad. So it is not always convenient to be blind. And I don't really eat pasta that much, but at least I had a lot of room for my cheesecake because I didn't get to finish that salad. Well, if it's still there. So right now I'm going to go and see if there's any cheesecake left on my plate. Could have left while I've been up here. I don't know.
Try the Italian dressing next time. It's also
Parker, how do you feel about the salad?
Hey, Sandra. Yes. Mommy wants to hear the story about the box.
Oh, it's a grand story. I shall tell when I get up there box. All right. One more little family story before we get to our guest speaker this evening. Lonnie said he wanted to hear the story about the box. Well, you know, all of you who know me and know me well know that one of the things I love most in this whole wide world is shopping, right? I can shop in a store, I can shop on TV, I can shop online. I thought when I lost all this vision, I wouldn't care. Guess what? Doesn't matter. I like to shop. So last Christmas, you know, I like to buy my things. I will be done with my Christmas shopping before Halloween. That's just me. So last year, I was expecting packages and boxes, and one day, and it was actually on my birthday, a box came to me in the mail. And because, and it doesn't matter that I teach my students this stuff, and my students learn fairly well. There are a couple of them in here. A few of my students are here, and I think they've learned pretty well. I can teach it, and sometimes I get excited and I don't do it. So I thought, it's at my door, right? So if it's at my door and they ring my bell, it's whose box? Whose box is it? Wouldn't it be your box? Well, yeah. Well, it was my box. So I opened up the box. I did not use my Seeing AI or KNFB. I just opened up the box. I was all excited. Yay! My sister sent me a gift. And then I couldn't figure out what it was. So I'm posting all over Facebook, I got a box. Y'all send me a box? I don't know what it is. So I kept the box thinking, it felt cool. It had all kinds of squiggly things and hard things and shiny things, and it had a plug, and I was in a cord, and I'm just like, what is this? And I just didn't know. So I all my friends got these. I got this box. Did y'all send it? No, I didn't see it. I called my sisters. Oh, is it your birthday? Really? And those are my real sisters. My Federation family, they remember my birthday. But they're like, oh yeah, it is. Happy birthday. No, I forgot it. No, we didn't send you nothing. So I had that box in my house for a while, and I do have a couple of friends who possess that thing called perfect vision. So one of those was over one night. She's like, cool, what's in the box? I don't know, I said. Let's look. Guess what? It was a toothbrush. A $200 toothbrush. And it wasn't for me. And I had opened it. I had played with pieces. I had tried to assemble it. And I'm like, oh my God, who does it belong to? And she said, apparently your neighbor. So I'm like, oh, let's put it back together. And she's like, and I got her the duct tape. You can't use that, that's a different color. Oh. So got the scotch tape and the packing tape, and we're sitting in my living room sterilizing the toothbrush things because I touched them well, okay? I didn't put them in my mouth, but I did touch them well. And so I'm like, oh my God, if they just brush and don't clean this thing up, So we put it all back together and taped it to make it look like it had a UPS accident, kind of squishy and everything. And then I kind of went to the neighbor's house and rang the bell, and me and my cane, we ran. I didn't want him to know I had held the toothbrush hostage for those couple of weeks. That didn't happen in 1969, but it was about, it was an anniversary type thing. Anyway, and Lonnie wanted to hear it. And if you ever want the real good parts, you can ask, I'll tell you. All right.
Did they ever find out? We need the real good part. Did they ever find out?
I don't know. We taped it real well. All right. Now, here is the part of the evening we have all been waiting for. Every year it is our privilege and honor to host a representative from our national office. This year we have Miss Amy Burris. She is from a part of the country I've never been. I hear there are tornadoes and dust and snow. I don't know. I like snow. I love it. Not real cool with tornadoes. But Amy was here once before, but I don't remember. I remember talking to her, but I can't remember when that was. But I'm going to introduce to you now our national representative, Ms. Amy Joyce.
Phil, how do we put the microphone? He's coming. We just take care of it. There must be a. Oh, that's what Can you hear me now?
Oh, no. Oops. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Ah. Okay, so. So in his book, Messy and Foolish, Matthew Warner says, "The life you were made to live can be yours right now if you have the courage to choose it." Not all of us have courage all of the time, including myself and including some of the folks I'm going to tell you about tonight. But what a powerful thought, right? So part of living the life that I want was to have a family and have a meaningful career and just be happy in life. And I'm pleased to say that I have achieved all of those things. And we'll talk a little bit more about that by and by. But a couple of years ago, it was probably a year and a half ago now, one of the happy, fun activities I got to do as I was living the life I want with my husband, who's also blind, and our children, who are not, was we decided to take a trip to the circus. There aren't a lot around anymore, but they were making a trip through Lincoln, and so we decided to go. Daughter's kind of fascinated by elephants. Of course, we watched Dumbo and all of that, and these elephants aren't quite like Dumbo, but she said, "Ooh, can we ride on one? Wouldn't that be cool?" So they were giving elephant rides that day at the circus, and so we decided we would go give that a try. And so here we are, all four of us. So getting this step stool out. I can see it from me because I'm pretty short, of course, but son of my husband, you're pretty tall, right around 6 feet. Even my 13-year-old's now about 5'8", almost 5'9". He looks down at me all the time. "What'd you say, Mom?" Anyway, I digress a bit. But so we're going to take this elephant ride. So we have to climb up a step stool, and there's about, maybe 4 or 5, 6 steps or so till you can get high enough to where you can actually climb on the back of this elephant. And has anyone in this room ever touched an elephant, actually? Yes. Yeah, they don't feel like you might expect, It's very interesting. And so I'm thinking, this poor creature, though, we're all going to climb on this poor elephant's back. Anyway, and so we went for a little ride around the ring in the circus, and daughter was waving at everybody. And anyway, so that was quite an interesting experience. But I started thinking about elephants. And did you know that African elephants can range from 5,000 pounds to more than 14,000 pounds? And we think we have weight issues sometimes. according to the World Wildlife Fund, an average African elephant weighs about 12,000 pounds. Even a baby elephant can weigh between 200 and 500 pounds. So the largest African elephants can stand in excess of 13 feet tall. That's at their shoulder. And what they do is they take them when they're still small and they tie a strong rope around their necks and attach the rope to a secure pole. The baby elephants naturally try to wiggle away and they're stopped by the rope. They pull and push and twist and turn and eventually figure out that they just aren't strong enough to break free of their shackles. So they stop resisting and just stay where they are. The next time they tie up the baby elephants, they try to break free once again, pulling on the rope to see if they can go free. When they figure out that once again it's futile, they stop pulling and settle down and stay where they are. The same thing happens over and over again until eventually, when the rope isn't put over their heads, they no longer pull and push or try to break free because they know it's futile. That's why in captivity you can walk by a circus and you see giant elephants standing passively with rope tied around their necks, but it's not attached to anything at all. The elephant becomes so accustomed to being held back by the rope that merely the rope itself keeps the animal in check. If only they knew how powerful they really are. If only they knew and realized that by the time they have grown up, even a rope secured to a pole could no longer contain them. Then they would know what true freedom is. But they don't. Between the great things we cannot do and the small things we will not do, the danger is that we shall do nothing. Adolphe Marneau said that great quote. Interestingly, koi, when put in a fishbowl, will only grow up to about 3 inches. When the same fish is placed in a large tank, it will grow to about 9 inches long. In a pond, koi can reach lengths of 18 inches. Amazingly, when placed in a lake, koi can grow to 3 feet long. The metaphor is obvious. You are limited by how you see the world. The legend of the koi fish is one that predates written history and one that's captured the hearts and imaginations of people the world over. As with most ancient tales, there are a few different interpretations, but it is essentially the story of the little brightly colored fish that could. The Chinese legend tells of the large school of fish, shining like polished jewels, that made the long and arduous journey upstream against the current of the mighty Yellow River. Gaining strength by fighting against the current, the school glimmered as they swam together through the river. When they reached an impossible waterfall, many of them resigned to simply return and went back the way they came. Some of the fish, however, were unfazed and attempted to leap up the cascading water to make it to the very top. One version of the legend says that some of the locals' demons, they were kind of drawn to the splashing and seeing the determined efforts of the koi fish, and out of spite coldly made the waterfall even higher. It didn't have the desired effect, though. And unperturbed, the koi redoubled their efforts to get to the top. For 100 years, the koi toiled against the odds until finally a single koi crested the top of the waterfall to make it into the river above. The gods who witnessed this colossal achievement rewarded the courageous fish for perseverance by transferring the koi into a golden dragon. And this dragonfish now traverses the skies above the river, constantly seeking pearls of wisdom. As a result, the waterfall became known as the Dragon Gate, and any koi that summons this courage and determination to swim against the tide and through the gates is bestowed the same honor as the original fish that overcame adversity. The story embodies the principles of perseverance, strength, and continued courage, reminding us to never give up, no matter the odds. What I have learned about life is that most often the real difference between personal slavery and freedom is simply vision. It is recognizing that it is ours to choose, that the chains with which we are held are mostly in our minds and not around our ankles. It took the children of Israel a long time to realize what most of us have to learn as well, that freedom is ours to take, hope is ours to embrace, and meaning and purpose in life are ours to envision at any moment in our lives. Fear is a thief. It takes the past and projects it into the future and robs you of the only opportunity you have to create change, says Jewel. So Halloween is coming up with all of its scary connotations. It seems kind of appropriate to take a moment to tackle the fear factor. When fear comes knocking at your door, you must answer it with faith. Nothing else is effective against it. Recently, I reread the 2016 banquet address from President Mark Riccobono. It's entitled The Understanding of Fear and the Power of Progress. And the speech discussed various aspects of fear, its relationship to blindness, and finding the power of the other side of fear. For me, his discussion called to mind a couple of things. Too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. That's what Les Brown said, and that caused me to stop and think a minute. We all do it. We are the champions of making excuses and settling for so-so because sometimes the amount of effort it takes to soar to new heights, challenge ourselves, and reach those lofty goals to make our dreams come true is just too scary. How many jobs have gone to someone else because you didn't apply? How many new places went unexplored because you did not have the confidence to travel? How many books went unread, thoughts unwritten, because you were afraid to learn a new way and didn't have the skills to do so? How many of your daily decisions revolve around avoiding failure? How many calls go unmade? How many projects lay dead in the water? How many big dreams play out only inside the fail-proof friendly confines of your own imagination? So you say, I'm afraid of making a fool out of myself. Well, Thomas Edison said it this way: I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Let me tell you about Jamie. She was a freshman at UNL. She thought she had the world by the tail. Since losing her sight around the age of 12, she dealt with her emotions and her fear and her anger and sadness, and now she accepted her blindness. She had participated in youth activities sponsored by the Nebraska Commission for the Blind. She joined the Nebraska Association of Blind Students and met successful blind mentors and peers. She grew up in a small town in rural Nebraska and was ready for the excitement, energy, and opportunity of Lincoln and a large university. She was ready. But here she was, stuck in her room, paralyzed with fear, not attending classes or going to the cafeteria, never mind making new friends. What if I get lost? What if no one talks to me? What if I can't keep up in taking notes in Braille? She thought on paper and in theory she was ready, but she let the fear of failing paralyze her, keeping her a prisoner in her own dorm room. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make big choices in life, says Steve Jobs. All fear and embarrassment of failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. Thankfully, Jamie didn't let that fear hold her back for long. She was not successful in her first semester. Her grades were poor, and she knew she needed a new plan. By embracing her fear, and with the help of others, including the National Federation of the Blind, she achieved her true life's passion, is now married with children, and successfully employed in a career she loves. So nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? And had she not taken that giant leap of faith, she might not have been able to hand me that loaf of friendship bread, which I talked to you guys about the last time that I was here. See, if you recall, she gave me this bag of gooey stuff and said, here, this is a starter, and you can make some cool bread out of this, and here's the recipe. And so it had all these instructions, and it took you from day 1 to about day 10, and you had all these different steps to do, and you put in all these different ingredients, and you mixed it all up, and you started off very slowly, just by kind of stirring it with a wooden spoon, and then you added a little bit here and a little bit there, and then a little more, and a few more things, until eventually you got to bake it, and it came out delicious and wonderful, and it was a pretty cool thing. And that was a big step for her to come and bring that over to me, because it kind of began the beginning of the work that we do together in the National Federation of the Blind, and in our state affiliate. She now serves as our secretary, and so sometimes you never know what will happen. She babysat my children, and it's been kind of fun to watch her grow into the beautiful woman that she's become now. And we all have those stories, those things that make us take that leap of faith and kind of put that fear aside. I mean, I was once there too, kind of like the story. I thought I had it all together. I was graduating high school. I had been blind for my whole life, right? What did I need to learn? I didn't need training, for heaven's sake, because this was my life. I do this 24/7. I don't take off the shades. Nothing changes. My travel skills weren't so good because I only had O&M for like 1 hour a week, maybe if I was lucky as a kid. And, I'd pray to God, please, please, please make it rain the day before I had to have travel, because I was just terrified of it. Otherwise, I wasn't really encouraged to use my cane or do anything on my own. And so, I graduated from high school, and I had all these questions about life and what could I really do on my own. I mean, I knew a few blind people because I'd gone to the school for the blind in Nebraska City, and there were a couple of adults that worked there, but the woman that I knew, she was a good mom. She cooked and did a lot of things, sang in the church choir with me actually, and a lot of things, but she walked kind of with her head down in a slow, very, very shuffling gait, and she lived about maybe a block away from campus and could never, ever, ever walk there on her own. Someone had to walk her home every single day. And some of the other adults, I knew a couple, they were cool, nice enough people, but I didn't know how they did some of the things, that I wanted to do, or they weren't doing them at all. And so I was contemplating, what my choices were, and I was all set to go to college, and I also knew I probably needed to get some training. So I did go to the Nebraska Center for the Blind, and that was a pretty good move. And I still needed that money for college because the VR agencies weren't very helpful then, and they weren't paying for tuition like they do now so much. A little bit here and there, might provide a few things, but it wasn't as easy a thing to make happen then. And so, the Federation had this scholarship, and so I know Taryn is not going to do this, but I was going to go and apply, and then if I won, I was going to take the money and run. Because I thought, I surely have a pretty good chance to win, and I applied, and I had to call the state president at the time, and at that time in Nebraska, it was Barbara Lose. Her. She was Barbara Walker then. Her husband Jim had since passed away, and she screens the announcements up at the head table at our national convention, and she's also president of the American Action Fund. And I was talking to her, and she was pretty darn nice, actually. A pretty cool person. I heard her kids in the background, and we were sharing our story. And I thought, okay, well, she's not so bad, but, I don't know. I've heard lots of other stories. And so I went ahead and applied. I figured I'll attend their convention because I have to, and then I'm out of there because I'm going to win. I just knew I'd win, and actually I didn't, but I was telling myself I was pretty confident. And anyway, so I went to the convention, and what happened there was really the beginning of something that changed my life pretty dramatically forever, because I saw a whole convention full of, maybe 60 competent, professional, blind people who were happy, having fun. I mean, people were laughing all throughout the weekend, just having a great time, traveling quickly, confidently, everywhere that they wanted to go. They were making things happen. They were changing legislation. They were paving their own roads and then running down them with glee, canes tapping all the way, not taking no for an answer. There were blind parents, blind lawyers, blind teachers, you name it, somebody was doing it. And I thought, this is kind of cool. I kind of like part of this. And so that was clear back in 1993, and the rest is history. I did win that scholarship, the first one from Nebraska, and then it wasn't long after they said, we need a student division, so you want to help us with that? And so I did, and have held several different offices and things at the state level since that time, including state president, which I still serve as today. And in 2006, I was completely humbled to be elected to the National Board of Directors, and to have the privilege for a long time to serve alongside just a real tremendous group of individuals, including your state president here. She was one of the first people that I met at a national level, and that freaked me out too, talking to all the national leaders and everything. And I thought, man, why am I here? What do I possibly have to, add to be in this elite group of all these people, But each one of us, including each one of you, has a story to tell. And whether you are president of this organization, serve on a national board or other committees, whether you have a state elected office or a chapter elected office, we are all members. So if you are not holding an elected office, you should not feel any less important or any less worthy than anyone else, because we hear these cliches a lot, all these things about teamwork makes the dream work, and it's all true, and it kind of sounds corny sometimes, but it's really not, because if each person does just a little bit, if each one here in this room today would just reach out, if you know somebody that's blind who's not here, reach out and personally invite them to your next chapter meeting, your next affiliate event. Or, if you're able to, go get them. Take them by the hand. Physically bring them over with you. Sometimes people need a little bit more of a shove to take the plunge. So some people don't. Some people they just need the ask, and they'll come. And we have so much important work to do that we can't afford to just sit back and say, someone else will do it. Well, I've put in my time, I'm done. Someone else can pick up the slack. Or, well, I like just being a member. I'm just a member. That's it. I'm good with that. I'm here, aren't I? What can I do? Little me. Well, you're called to that senator or congressman. You're showing up at the chapter meeting. You're doing your small thing by maybe bringing the flag to your chapter meeting every month. Maybe you're the one who makes the coffee. It is all important, and those are all things that would be missed if you didn't step up. If we all said, I'm done, I'm just gonna sit back, things would really begin to fall apart in a hurry. And there is much, much, much work to do. I wish you all the success in the world in your Blind Parents Initiative here. We talked a little bit about this morning, and I feel pretty blessed because I haven't had a super egregious experience, but 2006 was a really momentous year. I mean, not only was I elected to the national board, but our oldest son Noah was born. He was born on May 2nd, and then it was just a couple months later that I was elected to the national board, and I remember taking him in to see Dr. and Mrs. Maurer, and he peed all over Mrs. Maurer. That's his claim to fame right now. Sorry, kid. She still remembers that to this day, too. Yeah. Anyway, he would be mortified. He will be mortified someday if all this stuff. I mean, he already is. Like, oh, Mom, do you tell stories about us? Yeah, sometimes. Oh, God, you don't. I do. It's my prerogative. I birthed you. I carried you around for 9 months. I can tell stories about you. Anyway, but when we were still in the hospital after his birth, and it was a C-section, inevitably. It didn't start out that way, and I was, in labor for 20-some hours or something before they finally said, this is not working. I'm like, really, you think? And so we're going to have to do this anyway. And so, you have all those emotions and all those hormones, rolling around. We hadn't even picked out his name yet. And we get this, on the door. and it's like this hospital social worker just coming in to, say hi, check in, list a mile long of, millions of questions of, did we have someone at our house, someone going to come stay with us? How are we going to feed? How are we going to bathe and change? And how are you going to know when he starts crawling? And, getting into things and just whatever, you name it. I mean, and I was kind of freaking out still, pretty emotional and all that. And my husband, Shane's a pretty calm guy, mostly pretty mellow, pretty level-headed, pragmatic. So he was, thankfully a little calmer than me and just trying to answer their questions. And then I said, do you ask all new parents these questions? And he said, well, no, honestly, I don't. It's just those people that, we're a little bit more concerned about. People that we feel like there's a little potential for some concern, And then the funny thing is he proceeds to tell us about, there is an agency here in town. It's called the Commission for the Blind, and they help train people, if you need some skills or need any help with anything. And then there is an organization that we have heard of. We can't tell you a lot about them, but they're pretty known, and they're called the National Federation of the Blind. And I said, well, wait, hold on, stop right there. I said, do you know that my husband and I work at the Commission for the Blind, and we are the ones going around teaching these skills to people in this town? And oh, by the way, I'm president of the state affiliate of the National Federation of the Blind. He's like, oh. Pardon me. It was beyond my way. And thankfully he left. And I was so relieved that, I can laugh about it now. And, we've had a lot of other experiences with Noah traveling around. My first national rep assignment was to go to Ohio. And Barbara Pierce, God bless her, she was so kind. She's probably one of the best and safest places I probably could have went. My nervous first national rep and first time mom, trips, because he was only, this was in probably like November, October, something like that. So he was only, about 5 months old or so, 6 months old. And we were coming back, it was a pretty successful trip, and we had a good convention, and I learned a lot, and I hope that I'd imparted them with some words of wisdom. I felt like I didn't really know what I was doing, so I was kind of making it up as I went. And we're traveling back on the plane thinking, it's going to be really good to get back home and, start getting settled on the plane. And so Noah was starting to get a little cranky, and then a lot more cranky because he thought it was time to eat. So I took him out in my cover because I was going to nurse him. And, whoa, the steward guy was like there in like a lightning bolt. Like, just, oh, no, no. Oh, you need to be undercover, and oh my God, do you need any? He just didn't know what to say. He was falling all over himself. And then when he came to get us drinks on the plane, we got served drinks with straws and lids. The only ones on the plane who got our coffee with straws and lids. I'm pretty damn sure of that. Yeah, sippy cups. Mm-hmm. And he was just so sure that we were going to probably buckle him into the seat wrong, because he was in one of those, carriers, and we were putting it on the seat next to me. I was sitting by the window, and he started out putting him in the middle, and then pesky guy kept coming over and trying to get his hands on our kid, check, I don't know, do what, and I'm scooting him over by the window, and we couldn't wait to get off that plane as we got home. I've never been so excited to deplane ever and to get away from there. And these stories are kind of funny, and they're really kind of mild, and a lot of people have had a lot worse experiences than these, and there are others, and I could go on, but we have a lot of things to do yet tonight during this banquet, so I better step on it. Because there's still money. There's still money ready to be won. Nobody probably wants any of that, though, right? So I'll just keep talking because nobody wants to win any cash. But anyway, the point of that is that if it hadn't been for the National Federation of the Blind and the support that I have found there, I wouldn't have had the confidence to do a lot of the things, any of these other things in my life that I have done. And I said when I was elected to the board of directors that I feel like the Federation, is like a giant oak tree, and I feel forever sheltered and empowered by the arms of that tree. I read a quote one time, and it said that, behold the mighty oak tree, a nut that stood its ground. And to me, that's always kind of, it's kind of reminded me of the Federation. We are strong and mighty. Some people think we're crazy. Maybe sometimes we are, but it's those crazy dreams, the dreams that we dream up together that make things happen and change lives, forever. So an ounce of action can crush a ton of fear, says Tim Fargo. And consult not your fears, but your hopes and your dreams. Think not about your frustrations, but about your unfulfilled potential. Concern yourself not with what you tried and failed in, but what it is still possible for you to do. Pope John 23rd said that, and I have one more thought to leave you with today. A dream you dream alone is only a dream. A dream you dream together is so much more. Together with love, hope, and determination, you know that we will turn dreams into reality. I am constantly just astounded as I travel around the country and I see all the really cool things happening in our affiliates at the grassroots level. And that's where it's at. I see the love and the commitment and the respect and the collective power that you have right here in this room as you work together. Do you get along all the time? No. Do you agree all the time? No, of course not. Are you best friends with everyone in this room? No. But that's okay, because that's kind of what it's like to be a family, right? We can kind of squabble in and amongst ourselves, have differing opinions, differing ideas on how things should be done, what should be said, how it's going to happen, who's pulling their weight, who's not, whatever, all kinds of internal squabble. But when the rubber hits the road, no matter where you are, north to south, east to west in the state, you know that all you have to do is call any one of your Federation brothers and sisters in this great family here, and they would be there in a single heartbeat to stand allied with you shoulder to shoulder and fight the good fight. We're standing upon the shoulders and the work already begun by Jacobus Tenbrook and Dr. Jernigan, Dr. Maurer, and now Margaret Gabono, and all of those unnamed, unsung, but valued members. And that's what you are. Valued. By participating in the National Federation of the Blind, I am filled with love and hope and determination. Because my expectations are raised every day. My contributions make a difference to me, and most importantly, to others. And I can celebrate the realization of my dreams with my Federation family. Together with love, hope, and determination, we transform dreams into reality. We can, we will, we are living the lives we want. And together, no one can stop us. Thanks very much, Kentucky. I have had a great time being here. Let's go out together and build the National Federation of the Blind. Ooh, throwing this around. Sorry, one more thing while I have the mic. Ha ha ha, I have the power. I just want to thank you all again for your amazing hospitality. I've had the great pleasure of meeting a lot of you, and I haven't met all of you personally, but it's been just a great pleasure to be back here in Kentucky, and I will look forward to seeing many of you at Washington Seminar and at our national convention. But unfortunately, my flight leaves very early tomorrow morning. We have kids' activities and things happening, and so I needed to get back home. So I am leaving early, and I won't be here tomorrow. But I wish you well with the rest of your convention, and thank you again very much for all of the love that you have shown me. And if you ever need anything when you're in Nebraska or wherever else you may be, all you have to do is call. Thank you.
Yes, you do. Say it loudly.
It's my old name.
Was it something good? Oh. Can you tell me, Renelle, how many door prizes do you have left, approximately? Huh?
Tomorrow too.
All right, do another one then.
We have it tomorrow too. This time. Oh yeah.
Let's do one more.
We have a box of assorted chocolates, milk chocolates, a pre-dates bag, and a small Afghan, like a lab Afghan or a baby Afghan.
And it goes to Terry Turlow.
Oh my God! This is a lucky table.
Well, I would definitely like to once again thank Amy for her speech. Let's give her another round of applause, please. She said a couple of things that resonated with me. She talked about living the life we want. She talked about overcoming fear. She talked about the realization of dreams and ideas for people who are blind. You know, I live the life I want. You all know I live the life I want, right? I joined some crazy theater company, right? And say crazy things in front of you all, right? I got on a plane in May by myself, all by myself, and I went to South America and roamed around the Andes Mountains for about 3 weeks, right? Yeah, because I am not talking about the Turkish hot box at this point in time. So in order for us to help other people realize their dreams, what does it take to realize a dream? Did I go to Ecuador for free? No, I did not. Do we do anything we do here for free? Can we provide the scholarships we provide for free? No. It takes money. It takes funds. It takes initiatives from all of us. So we're going to do a few more of those names because what does that do? That helps us to get the money we need to help people fulfill those dreams or to realize they even have dreams that they want to fulfill. So we're going to do that. And then after those, however many numbers are called, probably another 25, our state president is going to pass the hat so that we can pass on what it is that we know, understand, and believe to be reality, the National Federation of the Blind. So first we're going to have 25 numbers, and then we're going to have Kathy Jackson, who will be passing that hat. During this time, if you can do it quietly and with the utmost decorum, sell those tickets, because that's another way we can help people realize their dreams.
Well, I know. Okay. Also, don't forget the silent auction. The Hilton Garden Inn is up to $125. The Embassy Suites and the gift items are still at $120, and the Amazon Fire is at $40. And we've got so much left on our program to do that we are going to actually finish up the reverse raffle tomorrow morning. We still have like 75 names, so we're going to draw 25 now because we want to do this passing the hat thing. And then we've got our scholarship, and then we've got other awards, and then we've still got all the drawings. So I made an executive decision, and Mike and Jane and I agree. So they're right here in front. Take them. Okay, they're here on the front of the table. All right, Mike, are we ready? Who's writing down the names?
Bill has the bucket. I think Mike wants to get the list.
Oh, okay.
So who's writing down the real?
Lonnie, do you want the braille writer?
Yeah. Was that the for real?
Yeah, they're for real. I didn't know who was the for real one. Do we need to go? Yeah, your prize while we're waiting here.
Heck yeah!
APH bag.
I want one of those.
What number are we starting on for the reverse raffle?
Wait,
151? Thank you.
And $18 bill.
Kathy Jackson.
woo! I just said I wanted one of those bags. Is she in the room? Thank you. Woo-hoo. All right, we got a new man drawing names. Phil's going to. Oh, Dana Horseman.
Hold on, I don't think Lonnie's ready yet. Hold on. Real writer's not launching.
Yeah.
Ready to go. Hold on, but who was 151? Dana Horseman, is that who you said?
Dana Horseman, Horsman. Tammy Spencer. Danielle Burton. Gotta wait till he catches up.
You still have one more name in there, right?
Did you get Danielle, Lonnie? All right, Bob Franklin. Angela Henderson. Juan, looks like Juan Munoz, Munoz. We're up here trying to read some of this handwriting. Renelle Mac. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, that's Rebecca Merle. You lucked out. You lucked out, Renelle. I can't read. Is that Melanie? Melanie Pesco. Now I'm afraid to. Mike Freeholm. We'll let Lonnie catch up. Yeah, did you get Melanie and now Mike Freeholm? Okay. Okay. All right. Jensen, Maine. Mark Tardif, Tardif. Yeah. Bo Mullins. Kathy Jackson. Stephanie Davis. Dodie Childers, Dodie Childers. Bo Mullins. Beverly Dickerson. Killian Maine. Killian, Killin. Beth Franklin.
We have a reader.
Is this one coming up to 170? Fred Schroeder. Is that Harris? Danielle Harris. Michael Maine. Kenny Jones. Is this 175? Oh, this is 74. Teresa Franklin. Are you ready? This is 175. John Franklin. Keep this one facing. All righty. Huh?
6 more door prizes. That's all left. Just for tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead and do a couple.
APH bag and 2 water bottles.
Is Amy still here?
Yeah.
Here. Thank you.
Yeah.
This one is jewelry oriented. We have a jewelry tree that holds like bracelets. And we have a jewelry organizer that hangs on the wall for necklaces. And it has a little sandwich box.
What's your glass? Oh, good.
It's all right.
Okay. Yay, Angela. She's here. Yeah, she's here. Go, all right. All right. Every year, not every year, but the last few years we've done something here at the banquet that we call Passing the Federation Hat. It is our time as members of this organization to make our donations. We can make them tonight, or you can make a pledge and Hopefully you will honor that pledge very shortly after you leave the convention. We appreciate any amount of money that you can give. It's no secret that, we all have different incomes, we have different expenses and obligations, so no one is expected to give more than they can afford to. We want you to give and give with love and give knowing that you are actually helping this organization. We've talked today about moving some of our assets around, and we will hear the treasurer's report tomorrow. We are fortunate that this affiliate does have some money in savings. But as I said this afternoon at the board meeting, at the same time, we don't want to drain our resources either. So it's our time to give from the bottom of our heart whatever we can give. I know that some of our chapters and divisions, I think, also take this time to share the wealth from their various fundraisers. So if I am willing to start anybody, any amount. Don't be shy.
Okay, Kathy?
Yes?
Karen, or Frankfurt chapter, we would like to donate $250, and that can go for the social expenses last night or wherever someone might be finished. And also, we would like to donate $100 to the Cameron Fund.
Okay.
And Buster and I would like to donate $100 to the Cameron Fund.
Okay, so that's $250 from Frankfurt for the general fund.
Yes, and that's a pledge.
Okay, pledge. $100 for the Cameron Fund. And for those of you who don't know, the Cameron Fund is money that we use to make sure that our members get to state and national conventions. So they're donating, I guess it's a pledge, $100 to the Cameron Fund. And then Buster and Karen Main are pledging $100 to.
That's a now.
Oh, it's a now, and that's to the Cameron Fund. Oh, your hundred's general. Okay.
Let's make it 50 for general and 50 for campus.
Okay.
And that's not safe, I got this.
Okay. So they're doing okay.
That's your place.
Okay. Mike, are you writing these down?
Yes, we are.
Okay. All right. We're off to a good start. Where are we going from here? Oh, I know we can do better than this.
Kathy, Becky Merle,
Becky?
$50 for the general fund.
All right, Becky Merle, $50 general fund. I heard somebody over here to my left.
Madam President.
Yes, sir.
50 CAD would like to, if we have check in hand, $200 to the county fund.
All right, the TAD, Technology Assistance Division, donates $200 to our Cameron Fund. Moving right along. Thank you, TAD. Thank you, TAD.
Kathy?
Yes.
This is Renelle.
Yes.
In memory of George, we'd like to put $50 into the campus fund.
All right, in memory of George, Renell, $50 for the Cameron Fund. Is that a pledge or
A check.
a check? All right.
Madam President,
Yes.
the National Federation of the Blind of Greater Louisville pledges $200 to the general fund.
Okay, NFB of Greater Louisville pledges $200 to the general fund. Thank you. Keep the money flowing.
Mr. President,
Yes.
Kenny and Maria Jones will pledge $100 to Bill.
$100 to Bell?
Yes.
Okay. Our Bell, our Braille enrichment through literacy and learning, Marie and Kenny Jones donate $100 to Bell. It's much appreciated, as I said. If you can give $5 and give it with love and from the bottom of your heart, any amount is appreciated.
Madam President?
Yes.
The
Kevin and Nikki Pearl pledged $250 to the general fund.
But it's mostly Kevin.
Oh, mostly Kevin.
Is Kevin on that?
That was my name on the thing.
All right.
Madam President?
Yes, Mr.
Ted will be donating. We are going to donate, we're going to buy 2 grill buses for our Bell program.
Ooh, yeah. That's cool. 2 Braille buses.
We're going to buy that when the Bell program.
All right. Well,
That's a pledge.
oh well. Okay. Yeah. Braille buses. It's yeah. That's as good. That's as good as cash. We take it. You betcha. Anybody else?
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
Beth and I will pledge $100 to Bill and $100 for the general fund.
All right. Dennis and Beth Franklin pledge $100 to Bell and $100 to the general fund. It's all appreciated.
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Scott.
I pledged $20.
All right.
General.
Scott Spalding, $20. Dig deep in there, Scott. Yeah, this is a pledge. Good deal. We appreciate it. We know you are giving it with all the love and that you've got. So, okay.
Madam President,
Yes, Mr. Bill.
I will pledge 25 for Bill and 25 for the general fund.
All right. Bill Deathridge, 25 for Bell and 25 for the general fund. Boy, those kids love Mr. Bill at Bell. And Mr. Bill was going to come to Bell and work one afternoon and came back 3 days in a row. And Mr. Bill is known for his cookies. He brought cookies every day. In fact, he made
cookies to
he's right. He brought cookie for the kids. Yeah.
They're all spoiled.
And they are. All right. Anybody else?
Helena Emery would like to pledge 25 to Bell and 25 to the general fund.
Okay. Helena Emery, 25 to Bell and 25 to the general fund.
Madam President?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Pearl would like to add an additional 50 onto our pledge, but earmarked for Bell.
Okay, another 50 for Bell. This is going well for Bell. Yeah. Anybody else?
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Cindy Smith, I'll pledge $50 to the general fund and $50 to Cameron fund.
Okay, Cindy Smith, $50 to the general fund and $50 to the Cameron fund.
Madam President?
Yes, ma'am.
Mary Harrod.
Yeah?
I'd like to give 25 to Bell and 25 to the general fund.
All right. 25 to Bell, 25 to the general fund from Mary Harrod. Looking around the room, anybody else? Okay, I would like to, I'll make my pledge of $600 to the general fund. Anybody else?
Tad has one more.
Oh, Tad, come
I
on.
was trying to work the numbers.
Oh.
Tad is going to receive $455 from the students that attended the symposium,
Uh-huh.
Riyadh's program,
Uh-huh.
and we are donating 30%. That comes to $160. So check that one as well. So it's a total, and that is a pledge when we receive that. So we have an additional $160 going to the general fund.
Okay, another 160 to general fund from Tad. All right. If you need to go home tonight and talk things over with your significant other and you feel like that you can help out, then we will not turn you down if you call tomorrow or next week or next month. As I said, everything is appreciated greatly, and I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. So, Sandra, you.
Sorry, she's bidding because she is.
She's bidding.
We're trying to outbid each other, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Silently.
Yeah, silent auction. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Another way that we help. Oh, sorry. Y'all didn't yell loud enough.
Water bottle from Sports Direct, which is full of cold items. That's vitamin C packs, double tissue pack, whole balls, chapsticks. More stuff in there. We have a large bottle of Avon Skin So Soft bath oil. And a $5 Kroger card. Nikki
Okay. We got 3 more first night, so just let us know when we do.
Okay. I think they're just talking amongst themselves. All right, next on our agenda, another way that we help individuals live the life they want and find the strength and the courage and overcome their fear to do this is by helping with scholarships. So here now is the chairperson of our scholarship committee, Laura Velty Stevens. Baby.
And speed hand lotion and hand wash set. And a step effects activity tracker. Oh, wow. Mary Jo Hackworth. Mary Jo from Mary.
Go ahead.
All right, can I have your attention? Okay, I get to do this every year. I've done this for a long time, and it's always exciting to be up here and have the opportunity to announce our scholarship finalists. But it's even more exciting this year when we really get to give a scholarship to one who's truly one of our own. And I'm so pleased to announce that Ms. Taryn Seif is going to receive our 2019 Charles and Betty Allen Scholarship in the amount of $1,000. Like I said earlier, Taryn is a first semester freshman at the University of Louisville, and we are so proud of her, and we know that with her family, their involvement, Taryn's going to do great, and we are so proud of her, and we know she's going to do great things, and she's going to continue to grow and be a leader in our federation. And that's really what we want our scholarship program to do. So Taryn, you want to come here for a second? Here, Taryn, this microphone is terrible.
Thank you.
Thanks, Taryn. Taryn is nervous up here, but for you guys that were in the couch potato, she was on it. So I told her, I was like, we're family. You don't have to be nervous up here. But in her defense, I know totally how that is. It is terrifying. But once you sit up here as much as me, you just kind of get used to it and roll with it. And she's going to be that way in a few years too. We love her, and thank you, Taryn, for all that you do for the affiliate. And we are right here. We're your family, and we are going to support you all the way. Congratulations.
Okay. Wow, the cord keeps getting longer and longer and longer. And you guys, You know how Taryn's a little nervous? Would you believe I'm nervous too?
No.
I was upstairs telling everyone how nervous I was. Now I am going to, it's my pleasure to present, Angela. I'm presenting Angela. Angela DeHart, and I'm presenting Angela. Oh, that's right. There's a marriage and a baby and all. Yes. Oh, and she's, I don't know why my Federation family wouldn't let me touch the helium jug last night. I don't understand.
You wanted to inhale it.
I don't understand. So Angela was my helium helper last night, and Angela is coming up here to present our awards.
Thank you.
Yep.
Here, it's
Excuse me, Jane. Squeeze through here. I'm a little chunky. You're good.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? You can probably hear me without the mic. I have a loud voice. Sorry. All right, so good evening. The awards committee this year was comprised of myself, Danielle Burton, and Diana Klein. Thank you ladies both very much for your assistance. The award being presented tonight is the Harold L. Reagan Award. The Harold L. Reagan was the first president of the National Federation of the Blind of Kentucky, and that's what I copied this directly from what you said.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, I literally copied what you wrote. And a member of the National Board of
Turn up my hearing aid.
Okay, and a member of the National Board of Directors of the National Federation of the Blind. As such, the emphasis for receiving this award should be placed on the recipient's leadership in the organization. This award can only be given to a blind Kentuckian. I'm now going to read the award. It is a beautiful wooden plaque with gold writing on a black background, and it says, National Federation of the Blind, live the life you want. The National Federation of the Blind of Kentucky presents the Harold L. Reagan Award to, for outstanding leadership and dedication to the equality, opportunity, and security of the blind everywhere. Saturday, September 21st, 2019. Kathy Jackson, President, National Federation of the Blind of Kentucky. George Stokes was a longtime member of the National Federation of the Blind and served in many capacities on both the state and local level. He served as a chapter president for the Owensboro and Frankfort chapters and served on the State Board of Directors as first vice president and board member. He also headed many committees over the years. George was a friend, mentor, and confidant to many of us in this organization. I'm sure if I spoke to any of you all tonight, you could tell me a story about him. Although we do not normally present awards posthumously, as George was not presented with an award in life, we found it to be well-deserved to present now. George worked tirelessly for the rights of the blind, and we are all honored to have known and worked alongside him. It is with great pleasure that I present this award to Renelle Mackey and Tammy Spencer in memory of George and his contribution to this organization. Ladies, can you please come here?
I don't have a planned speech, of course, but if George were here with us, which he's pretty much looking out for us all the time because we need him, he would say a big thank you. He loved this group. He He loved doing everything he could for somebody else. And he's helped so many people that most of you don't have a clue. And he's been a special person in my life, and I'm so grateful. And I've got his whole family as a new support group. We are a family. Thank you all.
I can't. Thank you.
Okay, now it is that time to give away all these prizes. So if your chapter or division has something you were raffling, now is the time to make your way up here. If you could, no?
Yeah, no, I was nothing.
Okay, see, that was external.
Never listen to me. Why now?
Well, it was, you use the teacher voice, and I do tend to respond. So if you all could be making your way up here, and if you could line up here, don't come behind the podium just yet. It's a little crowded back here. So line up around the front, and one at a time you'll be coming up here. And while you're making your way up here, you know, we live the life we want and do the things we do, right? And I went on my trip to Ecuador, and I don't speak Spanish, but I was going to do everything you do there, right? So I decided to get in a Turkish hot box. I'm blind. I don't know what a Turkish hot box is, but they said I should. So I was at the spa, and I'd soaked in waters and, you know, bathed in salt springs from a volcano and all this stuff. So they led me, my Spanish-speaking spa attendant, that's hard to say, Spanish-speaking spa attendant, led me to this thing. And he was a dude, that was fine. And he let me touch it. And it felt like a box with a hole. And I was to sit in said box. And the only thing that should stick out should be my head. And then they locked the box. Clunk. And I'm thinking, I'm claustrophobic, I'm in a box, and my head's out. So I wasn't sure what would happen in the box, okay? And you have a swimsuit on in the box, okay? That's what you have on, a swimsuit in the box. So I'm in the box, and all at once, it starts to get hot. It sweats all the impurities out of you, and I must have a heck of a lot of impurities because the water was dripping off of me like a fountain, and I'm in the box, and there was this pain that began to radiate through my hip. And I thought, oh Lord, something isn't right. I don't think nobody else is in the hot boxes are screaming. What's wrong with me? And I'm looking around, but I can't see anything. So I'm wondering, are they gone? Did they leave me in here? So I'm totally terrified. And the pain becomes worse and worse. And I don't know Spanish. I'm like, get me out, get me out, get me out. And they say, see? And I'm like, yeah, see, get me out, get me out, get me out. And I didn't understand. So I was screaming by this point because this pain was really bad. Okay? So this dude came, my attendant, Spanish-speaking spa attendant, came and he threw a bucket of water on me. And it had ice cubes in it. And when they throw the water on you because you're so hot, you steam. I'm like, oh Lord, this is hell. Thank you God I'm saved. Thank you God I'm saved. I don't want to go there. And so when the water hit me, I thought, okay, it's better. And they unlocked it. But then he locked me back in and it started coming on. And I'm like, oh Lord, I'm sweating. Ice is rolling down me. And this pain is in my side. And I'm thinking, I don't know any Spanish words, so I start screaming, caramba! And then somebody said, no! And I'm like, oh God, see, get me out of here! And so finally someone told me what the word for out was. So I'm screaming out, out, out in Spanish, and I didn't know. And then when I looked down and wondered why I was on, so on fire feeling, my swimming suit melted. So I'm going to just say there are certain swimming things you don't wear in hot boxes. That's not a blind thing. That's just a Sandra thing. But that's because I was living the life I wanted. And sometimes those wants get us, a little bit scalded. Okay. Who is first over here by me?
Hey, Sandra. Sandra.
What?
What's the Spanish word for out?
I don't remember. I was in pain. Oh, Stephanie, why don't you Google that?
It's okay. She would probably tell you what you told her was wrong. So we'll just go with the Google. If you win this lovely split pot from the National Federation of Blind of Greater Louisville, you will win $72.50. And I'm going to have our lovely scholarship finalists draw this. Can you come here, Taryn? Because I can't reach you with this microphone cord. All right, draw, girl.
Love you, girl.
Say it loud.
213. 213.
Yes, they're in Braille. Ignore the R, go with the number. Everybody says R, so don't think you're special. Art. Sandra doesn't play well because she didn't have hers out, and she called me to the microphone. I just want to point that out. Yeah, mine are not. I didn't write these. I play a different kind of game wherein the print people are discriminated against.
I've got the ticket right here. Got it.
213, we have it? All right. Woo! Who said they got it?
Becky Merle.
Alright, who's next?
50 cents in the general fund.
Alright, this is Frankfurt, we have $500 in cash. And I'm gonna have Amy.
Alright.
Draw.
Draw my name, please.
I know Mary Herod.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
You should just heckle everybody, don't you? It's all you.
No, Mary Herod is fine. Stephanie Davis is wonderful.
Okay. Okay, it is.
Uh-oh.
Yes, please.
Heather Dial, D-I-A.
Heather Dial.
I couldn't hear what she said.
Heather Dial, it's Heather Dial.
Through the podium. Door prize, Kathy. Can you hold this? Kathy? Yes. Door prize.
All right, door prize. Amy, you said Amy. Okay. You get to draw.
Guys.
And the last one tonight is tonight's bag. Another large bottle of Avon Skin So Soft Bath Oil. A military Bible stick. Audio drama New Testament selected songs plus pages. And a $25.
This one is written.
Bo Mullins here?
No.
All right. Oh,
Okay, the Technology Assistance Division would like to do their drawing. Yes, please. And we have let Amy select one, and the winner is Mistress of Ceremonies, Miss Sandra Williams.
All weekend she's like, I never win anything. I don't know whose phone that is. It's been there all night. It's been there like all night.
Your luck is turning around, Sandra. We did. You're all split it, remember?
I did. Alrighty, guys. Oh. All right, we have one more thing before we can go. I will try to curtail my excitement.
Yes.
But we have one more
Doing this,
thing
that's what I'm
before
recording
we
the
go.
stream
I
on.
should have asked her to read it to me before she does. Kathy's going to tell us who has gotten these silent auction items.
All right. Okay. The Amazon Fire, the high bid was $60. That's Kathy Jackson.
Oh.
Okay. Let's do the Embassy Suites and the other gift certificates is Sandra Williams, $150.
It's mine. I bought it.
SANDRA, then the Hilton Garden Inn 2-night stay is Lauren Todd Stevens, $135. So thank you all for your bidding and buying your raffle tickets. And while I've got the mic, before I give it back to Sandra, you're all welcome to the Suite 402. We will just kind of come together and have some fun and enjoy each other's company. It won't be a long night because unlike years in the past, we do have a business meeting in the morning, so it won't be a very long evening, but I would like for you to drop in anyway and get to meet new friends and in a good time with the old friends.
All right, thank you, Kathy. I do hope that all of you have enjoyed this year's banquet. Tomorrow our meeting will begin promptly at 9 a.m. That's 9 a.m. We will begin promptly at 9. No, that's 9. We will be here at 9 a.m.
I will be home at noon. I don't know where you're
Yeah, I plan to be home at noon. I want to just leave you with one final thought before we go. You know, folks landed on the moon in 1969. It couldn't have been easy. It was only after a lot of starts and stops that got off. But someone had a dream and realized that it could be done. So we need to have Stephanie stop laughing. And as we reach for the moon, if we don't make it on the first try and we tip off, guess what, guys? We're going to land somewhere in the stars. So have a wonderful evening.